How's it going?
Good. I just put together an easel, the most gorgeous easel I've ever had. It's a Hanukkah gift from my dad. It's so beautiful.
That is cool. Like, describe it.
So it's that like cherry wood, which I just love that. I love that flavor. I was
Yeah.
gonna say, um, it's really big, so it will support a canvas. It's sturdy. You can move it to support different sides. There's a little area where you can put some paints. It's on Amazon. It's like I think it's German made. Yeah, it took some putting it together, but I literally just finished like 5 minutes ago.
So that's what
Yes.
you're doing when you said, I'm still
Yes.
working. And I'm like, what is she
Yes.
doing?
Yes, and you know how our brains once we get started.
Right. Hyper
Yeah.
focus. It's hard to stop.
Yeah.
Yes.
So thankfully I didn't have to stop. I finished it.
That's
Yes.
good. Good. You had a nice weekend and everything.
Yeah, I can't remember what I did, but I'm sure it was great. How was yours?
It was so chaotic.
Oh.
I have to tell you, so I woke up. I was like in Monday. No, it was Saturday morning, and I woke up, and it's like morning. I'm having my coffee and whatnot, and then my son Alex, he comes up and he's like, "Mom, can I use your bathroom?" And I'm like, "Why?" And he's like, "The other one's flooded."
Uh-oh.
And I'm like, "What?"
Uh-oh.
Yeah. So I go downstairs and like the whole room's flooded, and I see like footprints coming out, like wet footprints from him, and I'm like, oh no. And it's like the whole thing. It was like the toilet like wouldn't stop running. And I thought it was maybe just, affecting, the tiles or like the bathroom. And I'm like, I'm scared to go downstairs. Maybe I'll look. I go downstairs. The ceiling is caved in. Like
what?
the ceiling table. Yeah, the ceiling tiles. Like it went through the floor into the basement, which is where my studio is.
Oh no.
I was really lucky in the way that it did not affect any of my artwork. Like I was able to just so I spent Saturday transporting at least 100 paintings to my girlfriend's house and put it in her spare bedroom so the moisture wouldn't damage them. And then there were other ones I couldn't bring because we filled up both cars, and I'm like, they're all over the house. So yeah, that's crazy.
That's
right?
like a scene in a movie where the ceiling caves in. I've never seen that actually happening other than in a movie.
Well, it happened.
Wow. And now you have to fix all that, obviously, and water damage, I hear, is like the worst.
Yeah. So both the bathroom and the basement are sealed off right now. I've got someone bringing big dehumidifiers in, and they're drying everything out, and they gotta pretty much gut everything and take out the insulation and stuff like that.
Horrible. Well, I'm sorry, but you seem upbeat about it.
I usually am for some odd reason. I'm just like, okay, I gotta find the humor in it at least,
Excellent. That's the excellent way to live.
Yeah, it is what it is, Just deal with it. So, yes. So our topic for tonight, the metaphysical in art.
Yes.
Do you think we artists are tapped into something other than our physical reality? Do you think we are tapped into some, I don't know, higher frequency?
I absolutely do. But I also think that we all are. It's just that some people choose to explore it a little more than others. And those that explore it, it just gets deeper and deeper. But there's that great Einstein quote that I often post on Instagram with a painting. He says, Art is standing with one hand extended into the universe and one hand extended into the world and letting ourselves be a conduit for passing energy.
Yes, I love that quote.
Yeah,
I
me
love
too.
it. And that's how I feel.
Yep.
When I was in college, I started reading like different things like about the abstract expressionists and
Yes.
Kandinsky and Hans Hoffman's search for the real and
Yes.
and he talks about how to transform the material back into the sphere of the spirit, and it's just like this is so cool. That resonated with me so hard because it was confirmation of something that I kind of felt my
Already
whole
felt.
life,
Sure.
but I didn't know how to put it into words, you know?
Mm. It's like how we feel when we listen to a piece of music, any kind of music that reaches us, or when we look at a painting, or when we see any kind of creative output, and how it touches something in us that's different. It makes us stop. It
Yeah,
stop it halts us. It's a little bit of a pause in our day and in our moment, and you feel, I mean, for me, I feel hopeful when I
yeah,
when I when I see or feel art of any nature, and including nature, the art of nature, like
hmm,
trees or the ocean. All of that just feels like, how can this world be anything but beautiful if all of this exists? And human
right,
beings are making, not the nature part, but we're making the art, and that's coming
right,
from us. And that it does feel like it's tapped into something deeper.
right, right.
And
Yeah,
speaking of Kandinsky, he has that quote, that is beautiful, which springs from inner need, which springs from the soul.
yes, that's a good one too. Oh my gosh, you had so many good ones.
Yeah, I know. I'm a quote collector
Me
since I was like
too.
5. Yes.
Me too. And then it's weird because we pick a topic and like right before we talk, like they just pop into my head out of
Yes.
nowhere. You
Yes. Yes.
and it's kind of funny. Like this one popped into my head
Right.
because I think and anybody can just, interrupt anytime if they want to speak. If no worries. So T.S. Eliot wrote about this too, and this is the one that popped into my head. Is he wrote, "The progress of an artist is a continual self-sacrifice, a continual extinction of one's personality," and people think of that as a negative thing, but I always thought of that as kind of putting aside your ego and putting aside your personality so that something high can come through you.
Mm.
And that's how I always took that quote. It's not
Yeah.
like I'm sacrificing myself for my art, I am
Gotcha.
suffering.
Yes, I agree. I like your take. I like your take a lot. Yes.
Yes. So
Yes.
I'm wondering, Michelle, Beth, have you had any experience with this? I think Michelle's a very cool abstract painter, and maybe she can connect with some of this. I don't know if you could speak right now. If not, that's okay. But yeah, just gonna give anyone a minute.
Yeah.
Okay, no worries.
All right. Well,
Can
we'll
you hear
just.
me now?
There we go. Yes, we
Okay,
hear
cool.
you.
Yeah, no, I mean, I all I can say to this add to this conversation is I so speaking of the metaphysical, like when I first started to get back into painting after I had raised my kids and everything, I was in my shower going, how am I going to get back into this? I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know what I'm going to paint, how I'm going to start. And I got like a flash, and it was like this crazy thing, like that it made my whole body just quiver. And it was like, I got here's how you're going to do it. And here's where you go, all one thing. It just felt like somebody put it into my at
I
that
love it.
in 1 second. But the other thing is, the other time I got, like you were talking about the ego and stuff, I'm really glad I did like mushrooms when I was in college, because when I did them a few times, it really let me like let go of my ego and just realize how how I am a part of like a thing that is way greater than me. So
Beautiful.
yeah, those two things. But that thing that thing in the shower, I'll never forget it. I don't know what happened in the shower, but it that did not come from my brain. I feel like that came from somewhere else.
I completely get that. Yeah, and I think in the shower, because you're relaxed and there's something, the water, it's like, washing over you, and you're not. It's different. You're not in a busy mode. You're not in a mind mode.
Maybe. Yeah.
Yeah, you let it come.
Yep.
Yeah, I feel like I get some of my best ideas in the shower as well. It's like that's when the whispers from the universe, that's when they can like reach you. That's when, I don't know, maybe the shower's like a portal. It opens up something.
I think anytime we're just allow ourselves to be, for me, it's a bath, meditation, driving in the car, or just really anytime. So, but yeah, I do think that has something to do with relaxing our minds to let the other stuff come through.
Yeah, but yeah, you know what I'm saying? It was like I don't think it came. I wasn't thinking.
Right.
This was.
Yeah, the mind stopped. The mind
Yeah.
stopped, and it came through some other fashion. Yeah.
Really weird. Really weird.
Awesome.
Yep.
I love it.
Thank you.
That is so cool.
Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead.
Go on. Go. No, Lisa, you.
Oh, okay. I'll let you go first because I have to tell you, like, something told me to pull some cards for everybody today. Is that okay? Like,
yes.
I came up with like a group reading, like a group message for all of us.
love it.
So if you want to say that, I'll get my cards.
Do you have them?
I do. I do. I pulled them before.
Okay. I want to do this. Some game.
Is that
Let's
fun?
do it.
Okay. So I have what I usually do, and this is, me being an artist and a hippy dippy metaphysical at the same time. But what I usually do, I've been reading cards since I was 14, forever ago. And I usually a quick pull, I'll do like one tarot card and I'll do one oracle card, and they'll kind of like communicate, like, both with me. So for my oracle card, I got the Seeker, which, and it's linked to water, which is intuition, and it's a life adventure.
Is this for all of us? Is this for the
This
group?
is for all of us.
Okay, so we all have to. This is like all. This is a sign for us all. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So the Seeker is about finding one's own path in life, one's own values, one's own goals. Rather than having one's journey dictated by others. This sounds like such an artist thing. It's about allowing your own experiences to teach you. It's a hero on a journey looking for answers. I'm like, everything about this says artist. And he's holding a snake, and that kind of linked it to the other card for me, and I'll explain that. So for the tarot card, I picked the 10 of Wands, which means doing it all, carrying the burden, and it's about delegation and release. It's somebody who's carrying like 10 wands on their sticks towards a small town. And that's only a distance away. The burden is heavy, but he knows that it's almost there, and he'll soon be able to release the heavy weight of what he's bearing. So it's like things will work themselves out. But the interesting thing is that this is about kind of creativity, because it's the Seeker. And so it's about seeking, holding, or carrying, and releasing, both cards together. So, and then the Seeker's holding a snake, in the card. So I'm like, this is cool because the snake knows when to release itself. So that's kind of like what we're doing, if that makes any sense.
Is this
So,
snake, the snake doesn't represent something snaky, like beware?
to me, a snake just kind of told me that it's about releasing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Excellent.
Yeah, so I thought that would be fun to do. So yeah, so that's kind of like we're seeking, we're carrying, and maybe you'll all have a burden and we're trying to seek a truth or something, but it shows that there's going to be release soon, one's burdens, but it's also that, continuous pattern of seeking and holding and releasing like we
So
do,
cool.
like we were
Yes.
talking about. Yeah.
Yes. Now, can you pull one for each of us that's on here?
Sure, why not? If anybody wants it, like I won't just do it, like, but let me see.
Okay, we'll do like a sign. Here's that peace sign means yes, please.
Okay.
Okay, there we go. We have another one.
Okay. All right. I will I'm going to make you invite
Good.
you to who else? Okay, Michelle said yes?
Yes.
Okay. So Michelle, you're already seeker. So
And
speaker.
Kaylee.
And Kaylee. Okay. So I'll do Kaylee. I'm going to invite Kaylee to speak too. All right. So let me see what this comes up. You could keep talking while I shuffle cards.
Oh.
Hi.
Oh, are you doing me first?
I made it.
I'm very excited.
Oh, you wanted one first, Annie?
Yes.
Two, or you wanted one? Okay. Let me do
yeah.
it.
I did.
Right.
I was the first one with that peace sign.
Okay.
See, there I am.
Well, I'm looking at the card.
Bam. Bam. Bam.
Okay, give me a moment.
Bam. Okay.
Impatient. Okay.
Is that what the card says? Because that would
That's
be
what
really,
it's
really,
telling me.
that would be really true.
It's saying you're being impatient and you need to learn to wait. No.
Yes. See, this is why I can't do oil paint.
Okay,
I can't wait.
But for your oracle card, I got gift of magic.
Ooh.
Yes, so that's cool. And then I'm gonna pull a tarot card.
But what does it mean? Like, so
well,
I mean, I'm magic. That's
yes.
okay.
But let me pull the other card, and I think it'll be defined.
Okay.
Okay. Ooh. Okay. So I got the gift of magic.
Mm-hmm.
And for the tarot card, I got the 9 of Cups, which is like this happy kind of like fulfilled guy. He's sitting in front of all of his cups that are full.
Okay.
So
I like
that.
Like that feels
fulfillment. It's like a really good sign. Both, it's like your magic, and that's gonna bring you the fulfillment, and I think that's a really good message.
9 cups and they're full. It's like my cups have runneth over, like
yes.
the things I've been and the oracle card was magic.
Gift of magic.
The gift of magic.
What it shows is it looks like an Egyptian hieroglyph of somebody, and
okay.
I'll take I could take a picture.
Yes.
And I'll send it to you.
Yes.
Let's see if I cannot hang up.
That's so fun.
All right.
I'll take a
fun.
Picture. I love that. This is so cool. I like this little extra surprise of the artist tarot reading going on here.
All right. I'll send that to you.
Okay.
And then I'll do Michelle next.
Okay.
Okay, now I have to go back in here so I can see the screen. I'm going to mute while I shuffle.
Okay. So here, I'll share more quotes that I love. Let's see. How about more Kandinsky? There is only one road to follow, that of analysis of the basic elements in order to arrive ultimately at an adequate graphic expression. The artist must have something to say, for mastery over form is not his goal, but rather the adapting of form to its inner meaning. He was big on meaning. Because a power which directly influences the soul.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's one of my favorites. The way he talks about the color and how it affects the soul. Yes.
The relationships in art are not necessarily ones of outward form, but are founded on inner sympathy of meaning. I love how much he cared about soul and meaning and, all the depth of it, and not just, here's something cool to look at.
I actually have, I pulled a Kandinsky essay out too for tonight. So they told me Kandinsky.
Yeah, it's all about him tonight. I don't know. Me too. Apparently it's a Kandinsky. Maybe he's coming through.
Right. Okay, I got Michelle's.
Okay.
And then I'll do Kaylee's after this. Are you ready?
It's funny because my husband owns a digital media company and he's the biggest nerd, but he does tarot cards all the time. And I don't let him do mine. So
yeah, we will not tell him.
I won't tell him, Michelle.
You are so tarot cheating.
Yeah, because he scares me with this. Anyway, yeah.
Oh, no. Yeah, and sometimes it's weird having someone you really know. I feel like sometimes I do even better when I know less about something. I don't want to, assume anything. I don't know. All right, so what I got for you for your oracle card is I got the Sage. And it's it's like a reindeer. It's almost like, and then there's in the background, it looks like there's a wolf. It's interesting. So it's very Native American primitive. I think it's inner wisdom. And what I have for your tarot card is the Six of Swords. And it's this guy, and he's rowing a boat with a woman and a child, and he's rowing from choppy waters to kind of a smoother part of the water. So yeah, it's like you're coming out of troubled waters.
If it was that simple to interpret it that way, that would be awesome, because we're all in troubled waters right now. So yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So it's it's you're on a journey, but you're onto something smoother.
That sounds hopeful and
fantastic.
Thank you. I need that.
Yeah. Yay.
Thank you.
So fun.
Okay. Thanks.
I'll do Kaylee. Did I say your name right? Is it Kaylee or?
Yeah, it's Kaylee.
Kaylee. Okay. Awesome. Okay. I'll give me a moment to shuffle. If anybody has any other favorite quotes or thoughts, feel free to do so.
I think my only remarks are just that I think this is such an interesting conversation to have on the topic of art, and how it relates to the metaphysical or the astrological or the universe in general. When I saw Sparklebutt's tweet about the conversation yesterday, I was just like, oh my god, that's fun. I love curiosities like this. It's really fun.
That's awesome. Excellent. Yay.
I just want to say I have a whole bookshelf behind me actually dedicated to the whole subject of the metaphysical and art. I can't imagine an artist really working without tapping into that resource, that place where we don't really know exactly where it's coming from.
I agree. Yeah. I agree.
It's funny because it's not like we all talk about it that much. We just kind of do our art. But here we are talking about it. I love to hear that other people feel it too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've always been a creative and I've always been artistic, and I've always had a very passionate interest in science, but also in tech, and also the metaphysical, the astrological, the astronomical, and the universe in general. And so I gravitate to things that are extraordinary or bizarre or just curiosities and interesting, and
That makes complete sense. You're an artist.
yeah,
You just basically described what an artist is, you know? That's 100%. Exactly.
I gravitate to the interesting, and I guess an interesting way to look at it is, you know, especially with the world's social culture as it is today, and the situations that are sort of going on around the world, I find it so perplexing how people want their environments to be less diverse, where I want things to have more variety. You know, I want it to be more diverse. I want it to be more interesting and fascinating and perplexing and in unusual ways. And so I tend to gravitate to things that are new and interesting, and just things that surprise me.
That's because you're an artist, and artists are not boring.
I love that. I love that.
Exactly. I got yours,
I'm
Katie.
excited.
Yeah. So for your tarot card, I got the Queen of Cups.
Ooh, that's a good one.
I use that as my card to represent myself, because it's a woman who's dreamy and into the arts and, you know, good natured. So that's like a really good like card for an
I love
artist.
that one.
Yeah. And what I got for your, okay, this is weird. So something told me to pull 2 cards for you, because I pulled one of your aura cards and it said orphan. And then I was like, what does that mean? It sounds negative, but I got the feeling like it's like maybe a project that you neglected.
No,
I could actually speak on that, but I'll let you continue first.
Okay, and then I pulled, because I said I need clarification. What is this? So I pulled a card that says spirit, and it has like a bird, you know, like a colorful bird. So I have this feeling like, you know,
wow,
there's something that you abandoned, and now you have new spirit to kind of add into it.
I can actually briefly give you the cliff notes of the backstory. When I was, excuse me, when I was growing up, there was a lot of turmoil in my family, and that my mother, she had bipolar and was hyperthyroid disease, and so she was very volatile, but she was also undiagnosed and unmedicated. Back in like the 70s and the 80s, when if you acted crazy or behaved crazy, then people just said, oh, that person's crazy, and like that was the end of it. There wasn't a mental health discussion, and there weren't diagnoses like there are today. And so I had left the nest at 16 years old and basically orphaned myself. But through those childhood experiences, I took into my adult life this prioritizing my mental health before mental health became a topic. I learned from those experiences that how I was treated in my youth was not okay, and I wanted to basically express myself creatively words are hard, to shine love and curiosity and all the things that I love. Because whenever I was feeling hurt and scared as a kid, I would hide in the closet, and I would grab like my favorite toy or my favorite sweater, and I would just focus my thoughts on things that kind of countered those negative feelings I was having. And that always brought me back. And so I went into the world at 16 feeling like I need to share that, but I need to find my path so I can share that. And so I took those traumatic experiences and I turned them into something that allowed me to flourish as a creative.
Wow.
You took your broken heart and you turned it into art, like Carrie Fisher said.
Yeah,
I love
exactly
it.
what I did. So
Gorgeous.
I feel like those cards definitely spoke to my personal experience as a creative and how I adapted what I went through and transformed it into something beautiful that I could then go out and share.
That's a very positive, beautiful story. I love that. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, that's kind of like a phoenix bird too, you know, like you
Yeah.
rose.
It's funny because when exploring my sci-fi curiosities, I gravitated very early on to the comics, and I jumped into Marvel Comics right when Phoenix and Dark Phoenix's story was emerging, as they were releasing every week new issues, and she became my favorite because of that rebirth.
Wow, so cool. Love it.
Very cool. I know, it's like I want to talk about this more, but we said we were gonna end it at 8:30.
It's great. It gives us more. It
So
gives
cool.
us more. You know, leave them wanting more, as they say.
Yes, it's such, as I said yesterday, when I had to co-retweet her post for this space, I was like, it's just such a fascinating concept to have a discussion on, not just like art and techniques. You know, I've hosted spaces in the visual arts realm where, you know, we're often discussing, you know, either techniques or how to not only enhance the composition of your art, but also how to curate a collection so that your art is, you know, collectively cohesive, and then how can you translate that into the digital space, not as NFTs, but like how to build a community around what you're creating, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But it hadn't occurred to me. It hadn't occurred to me to have more interesting conversations on what informs that creativity. I mean, last week I had a space. Or excuse me, last Saturday I had a space, you know, on what informs, how does your experiences in your life inform your creativity and what you create. But it hadn't occurred to me to have more interesting conversations like this one, where it's like, how does the metaphysical and topics around the metaphysical, how does that inform your creativity? And I couldn't wait to get here and
oh, that's so awesome,
and jump in on this conversation.
Listen, I like what you're doing too. Can you tag us next time you have an up? Keep us abreast of your spaces so we know what you're doing.
Yeah, I would love to. It's every Saturday at 5 p.m. PST. And you guys are definitely welcome to come join me and to come co-host and speak with me. I would love the company.
Yeah, we'll keep this party going. Yeah, absolutely. But for this one, I think we should wrap it up. What do you say, Sparkle Butt?
I think it's time to wrap it up. But that was fun. Maybe we'll do it again some other time. You know,
yeah.
Maybe we'll just one day I'll just pull out the cards again and be like, "Hey,
sure. I love it." And let's all support each other and see what we're all doing. Go to our profile pages and all that. And I have a last quote to leave everyone with. This one is Henry Ward Beecher. He says, "Every artist dips his brush in his own soul and paints his own nature into his pictures."
I also sometimes dip my brush into my coffee, but that's outside the
is
Oh my god.
relatable.
Yeah.
Hashtag relatable.
I have to send you my video where I'm doing that as a joke.
Oh my God.
It's really
You know,
stupid.
I am the worst. I am the
Yeah,
worst. I've
awesome.
also accidentally, I tweeted last week, I was like, you know, stay hydrated, but don't drink the paint water because I've done that too.
Yep, not
All
fun.
right. Thank you
All
so
right.
much for hosting this space. It was super fun.
Thanks for
Well,
being here,
thanks.
everyone. You,
Thanks,
Lisa.
everyone. All right. Bye-bye.
Keep creating, keep positive, keep showing up. Bye, everyone.
Bye.